Well, my faith in this series has been renewed, at least until Wednesday. Hey everyone, Lone Wolf Jai here, and well, here's my review of Season 1, Episode 2 of the Book of Boba Fett, entitled The Tribes of Tattooine. So, I waited. I was, holding off watching this episode, because first episode still left a bad taste in my mouth. Um, so, as it goes, the second episode starts off. Fennec is taking an assassin to see Boba Fett, who the assassin was sent to kill Boba Fett. But I guess she caught him and she's taken him to him, and he he says, "You better talk, or you're gonna die." And they're telling him he's part of this order, that they don't talk, and he says, and then she goes. Well, he says something in Huttese, I don't know exactly what, which should have been an indication of who sent him. Um, he then, well, she said, "Well, then, won't you, we know you don't fear death, but what about the Rancor?" Well, just in the pit, and I'm like, wait, the Rancor was killed by Luke in episode 6. And she's like, it's empty. Before he, after he reveals the fact that he told them that the mayor sent him. And they go to see the mayor. Mayor's an Authorian. If you don't know what an Authorian is, it's those hammerhead creatures. They speak to him. He speaks to a translator, and he says, "Why don't you go to such and such?" I don't remember the name. I don't remember the name of the place, but it's that cantina from the first episode, which I'm thinking, other than Java's Palace hangout spot, I guess you can call it. Call it the central perk of this series, is going to be this cantina which is I believe is run by Twi'lek. So um, she's sitting there talking to him, and he's all like, "Why are you sweating?" And then they hear in the background some drums beating drums. Uh, well, they I think I don't remember if it was the mayor or the Twi'lek that says that the twins don't like the fact that he's taken over their cousin's uh, business, and he was all like, trying to explain that, hey, you know, uh, something like that. Then he goes out, explains to that, he sees the twin huts coming up, being brought, which I'm like, I wonder if that thing's ever gonna break, because huts are known to be quite overweight. Um, but uh, he explains to us that, excuse me, that he didn't. Well, they said you usurped our brothers or um our cousin's throne. He says, no, I killed Bib Fortuna, and then took the throne. And they were all, it was like schematic. It was just semantics. And I'm all like, and they just go, okay, fine. Um, it, how can I say this? It wasn't a really good back and forth, honestly, even though I did it word for word here. Almost word for word. I mean, at this point, I was about ready to turn on my alternate home guy account on my laptop through Steam and play that while listening to it. But then he went to do the whole flashback thing, and I was like, oh, here we go again. I was about ready to reach over and grab my laptop and do what I was gonna do, but it interested me. his flashback sequence interested me. Oh, hold on. Sorry, my niece. That was my niece. She was calling me to ask if how old I was turning this year, which in a little less than a month, in a little less than a month, I'll be turning 49. So yeah. Anyway, uh, continuing on, I was ready to do it, and then it started. He's basically starting to be. He's training. He was training with another with a with a Tuscan Raider, um, to learn how to use a gaff stick. Um, then there's this train that goes through. Every time it goes through, they try to hijack it. Well, they protect their territory. As big as they're protecting their territory, that's what they did. It's when insane people are in a certain area, that's their territory. Okay. By the way, Sand Raiders are Sand Raiders and Token Raiders are the same thing. So it's they consider it their territory. Anybody who comes in, they shoot them down. Anybody who comes through, they shoot them down. I mean, that's evident through in episode 1, Phantom Menace, when the most Espa pod race goes through it. Anyway, um, so it goes through, and he tells him, I can get that train to stop, and he goes to some place, and he brings back he basically wipes out a lot of people there. It's like a little bar somewhere. Um, there was someone I noticed there. I looked at the credits as Jennifer Beals. I'm like, Jennifer Beals. I'm not too sure, but I think she was in one of those '80s movies. I'm not too sure about that. So he comes in, just beats them all. I think he kills a good chunk of them and beats the rest of them up. He takes their speeder bikes, takes them back, takes the speeder bikes back to the Sand People encampment, and says, "I'm going to teach you guys how to ride this." So this brings up one of the funniest moments, probably the funniest moment I have ever seen in a Star Wars film. Well, it's definitely one of the funniest. It's he he's on it, and he pushes it forward, go, pulls it back, stop, go, stop. So one of them gets on, pushes forward, and goes backwards. That cracked me the fuck up. It reminded me of episode 6 when the Ewok stole the speeder bike from the stormtroopers on Endor. Um, so he's teaching them how to do it, and then they go and get the next uh, um, train going through. Well, they end up catching the train, stopping it, and he says, "Are you guys? Are you?" He go the guys and the leader tells him, "Are you going to kill us?" And he goes, "It depends on how you answer my question. Are you transporting spice?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" And they show up. He's like, "That." No, I was like, "What do you mean?" He says, "Such and such spice from Castle." Which, if you know your Star Wars, Castle is where they have spice. Spice is some kind of thing that helps enhance people's mental capacity, or you know, it helps in let's just say it's an HGH or PH. It's a PhD, performance enhancing drug. Okay. Um, he he says that, and then he explains to him, "Look, give me all this, I'll let you go. Go straight that way for about such and such miles for about a few days, and you'll come up on Anchorhead. They said, well, we'll die before that. I said, we'll give you each about a thing of water. That'll last till there. All right. So they get the train. They uh, he then goes through some kind of ritual thing where he has this lizard put inside of his head, and it takes him to this tree. He gets a branch from the tree where he makes his gaffy stick, and then he gets the whole the full clothing thing. The clothing thing that we saw him in that episode of The Mandalorian. So that's how that ends. Um, the like I said, the part with the huts, I was getting ready to check out and say I am done. But this bit with the sand people, that was good. I mean, it shows us. I said this on the Star Wars Facebook page. This shows us that the sand people are more than just mindless savages, which is what we're led to believe. Now, I've known that since I played KOTOR, the first Star Wars Knights of the Republic game, and I did it back then to Revan befriended the Revan was able to befriend. You're able to befriend the Sand people with Revan, not through the Force, not the Force means, but just tell them, hey, I'm a respectable person. You guys are respectable people. Let's go. Let's work together. That's how it is. So, my thoughts on this. Good episode. I'll wait until Wednesday for the third episode. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Until next time, this is Lord Jazz saying thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves.